Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska, and this is the news. At the UN Security Council, the Kremlin accused the U.S. that the Americans had produced a drone that could spray infected mosquitoes at enemy soldiers. Of course, the Russians did not provide any evidence of this, but Putin consistently calls the aggression against Ukraine a defense war. Russia, for months without presenting any evidence, has already accused Ukraine and the U.S. of creating laboratories with biological weapons. And now there is talk of a dirty bomb. The fight for Kherson is fought every day. The Ukrainian armed forces are trying to surround the city and isolate the troops stationed there. The command, however, warns that the liberation of this city may last until the end of November. Today, Moscow is talking about the alleged end of mobilization in its country. But we observe that the situation is different. Russia is trying to increase the pressure on our positions by using mobilized troops. But they are so poorly trained and equipped, so brutally used by the command, that the Kremlin may soon need a new wave of conscription for this war. We are preparing for this. We are preparing for the fact that the current Russian leadership will look for new opportunities to continue the war, including thanks to his partners in Iran. Therefore, we work with partners on a daily basis to strengthen our air defense and our other defense capabilities. Praise all those who help us fight for freedom. We have no doubts that the Ukrainian flag will return to all places in Ukraine. In the morning, Russian ships of the Black Sea Fleet located in the Sevastopol Bay were attacked in the Crimea. The attack was probably made using drones. This is reported by the Russian media. They also report that the Russian air defense fought off all attacks. No objects were damaged. The passage across the bay has been blocked. The Ukrainian armed forces do not comment on this event yet. There are currently 9 military ships in the Black Sea, including 1 large landing craft and 1 submarine, carrying 12 high-precision caliber missiles. The Russians feared that we might destroy their ships if they entered the area of the grain corridors protected by international guarantees. Therefore, they do not dare to leave their safety zone and remain behind Cape Tarhankut. Ukraine replaced another 52 prisoners of war, officers, doctors, soldiers, and civilians. The decision has been made. Americans will build the first nuclear power plant in Poland. Construction will start in 2026 and will take 7 years. Then the first block is to be launched, and subsequent blocks will be implemented every 2 to 3 years. The power plant will be built in the village of Lubiatowo. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki announced that the government will adopt a relevant resolution this week. The first power plant will be built by Americans and the second by the Koreans. This is the plan. The first reactor, designed by the U.S. company Westinghouse, is expected to be commissioned in 2033. The initiative is intended not only to provide Poland with clean energy, but also to strengthen mutual relations. A strong Polish-American alliance guarantees the success of our joint initiatives. After talks with Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary Jennifer Granholm, we confirm our nuclear energy project will use the reliable, safe technology of Westinghouse. Thank you, U.S. Embassy. Council of Ministers resolution on Wednesday. In my conversations with Prime Minister Morawiecki of Poland, in Warsaw and on the phone, I made clear that U.S. partnership on this project is advantageous for us all. We can address the climate crisis, strengthen European energy security, and deepen the U.S.-Poland strategic relationship.
This decision on the part of Poland not only strengthens our bilateral relationship with Poland on energy security for generations to come, but I think it sends a clear message to Russia that the Atlantic Alliance stands together to diversify our energy supply, to strengthen climate cooperation, and to resist Russian weaponization of energy.
A decision on the contractor for the second of the planned power plants has not been made yet. In addition to the Americans, the proposal has been put forward by the French and the Koreans. We got it. The first nuclear power plant in Poland will be built by the American Westinghouse. This is not our last word. More talks on a major nuclear power plant project in Seoul on Monday. We are consistently building Poland's energy security. The power plant is to consist of 3 reactors built with the latest technology. The contractor stresses that they will have a completely passive safety system, requiring no power supply to maintain cooling. If the power supply is disconnected, the reactor will automatically shut down. This keeps the risk of failure and possible contamination to a minimum. The reactor is also to be equipped with a double insulation coating to protect it from possible aircraft impacts. It is estimated that the price the Americans will offer to build the reactor will be about 25 billion euros. However, about half of Westinghouse's expenses on this investment are expected to go to the Polish companies that will participate in the construction of the reactor. Poland became the first European Union and NATO country to acquire Turkish-made drones. The first batch of Bayraktar TB2 drones was handed over to the Polish army yesterday. The first set of equipment that arrived at the Mirosławiec Air Base in western Poland consists of 6 unmanned aerial vehicles and 3 mobile control stations, the Polish Defense Ministry said. There is no modern army without drones, without combat drones. When it comes to Bayraktars, these are the drones that on one hand do and will do the reconnaissance missions, but on the other hand, they are ready to take part in combat missions. This is an effective weapon in the hands of Ukrainians, and it allows them to effectively defend Ukraine's territory. The armament will significantly enhance the operational capability of the entire Polish army. The TB2 aircraft is designed to perform reconnaissance and strike missions using precision munitions. Tasks can be performed day and night in all weather conditions. The contract for 24 Turkish-made unmanned aerial vehicles armed with anti-tank projectiles was signed in May 2021. The battle-proven TB2 drone is being sold to 24 countries, including NATO member Poland, while the company signed deals with 5 countries for exports of its much larger sibling, accusations. While the TB2 can lift off with up to 150 kilograms or 330 pounds of missiles or equipment, accusations, first delivered to Turkish armed forces last year, can fly much higher and take off with 10 times the weight. The aerial drones supplied by Turkish defense company Bayraktar were instrumental in Ukraine's defense against Russian armor and anti-aircraft systems in the first few weeks of the Russian invasion. And finally, New York City residents for the most part expressed caution over the news that Elon Musk had completed his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter. Upon completing his Twitter acquisition on Thursday, Elon Musk tweeted, "The bird is freed," referencing the social media giant's bird logo in an apparent nod to his desire to see the company have fewer limits on content that can be posted. Musk also said he wants to prevent the platform from becoming an echo chamber for hate and division. Musk indicated he will ease the site's moderation policies, and his plans to make major cuts to staff could also hamstring the site's ability to police its content, which it has struggled at times to do in the past.
I'd say that a lot of people are looking at it and think it's a freedom. It's going to give freedom of speech. I think that doesn't account for the fact that Twitter is international, and also doesn't account for the fact that second something's privatized by one of our richest people in our country, it really takes, you don't realize what ramifications can come from that, and then also what of your personal information can go to that corporation and then be sold for profit. So
I respect the guy, I admire the guy. I think he's the Thomas Edison of our generation. And I think that he's for an exchange of ideas. I know he goes back and forth and he makes it a little comical. I don't think he takes it too serious sometimes, but like with the depopulation thing, he brings out awareness to things that a normal person just ignores and never thinks of. Personally, I think it's good.
I think it's terrible. I think whenever you give one person way too much power, and this is one person with all of that power that Twitter does have as a social media platform, I think it's not a good thing to begin with, especially with all the records that he shows with everything that he does and says, and so no, it's not a good thing.
Twitter has been a key political tool for years, offering politicians and activists around the world the ability to reach millions of people with largely unfiltered rhetoric. Critics, however, have warned that the site has also helped spread both misinformation, inaccurate or misleading information, and disinformation, purposefully false information that undermines democratic principles and offers foreign actors an avenue for meddling. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, have a wonderful Saturday night.